All right. Well, this is it. This is the last call of our Coach University. We've been together for 4 weeks now, and it's been a blast. It's been a lot of fun. I am excited to watch a lot of you grow. And I also know that especially starting a business is not an easy task. I know that there are roadblocks that you face when you are a business owner, and it doesn't matter what business you go into. We all sort of have this startup process. And I know I've talked about this before, but some people come into this business and they progress like super fast, right? And they have great success and great Success Club points, and they get to Emerald relatively quickly, which was not me. And then you have the opposite side of people where they come into the business and it's like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Why can't I hit Success Club? Why does nobody want to join me? Why am I not getting any likes on my posts? And that was, that was definitely me. And getting to Success Club in my first month was like pulling teeth. And I was doing every single thing that my coach was telling me to do. I was posting 3 to 4 times a day. I was reading personal development. I was doing my workout. I was inviting. I was following up. But it was like I had zero credibility because I just had never used social media before. And so I ended up in my first month, if I can be completely candid and honest with you, when I signed up in my first month as a coach, my husband, my sister-in-law, and my mother were how I got to Success Club my first month as a coach. I had 3 people in my first challenge group, and I ended up teaming up with my coach and adding those people into that group because I didn't have enough people to run a group on my own. All right. So my first month as a coach was a shit show. Excuse my language, but that was really what it looked like. I was spending so many hours of my day researching, having conversations, doing follow-ups, trying to understand what group I saw this in, what group I found that in. And so I was like getting up early and staying up late. And I probably questioned whether or not I could actually do this business like once a week. Right? So I don't know if any of you kind of feel like that and you're like, I just don't know if I'm cut out for this. I just want you to know, like, that's a real feeling that everybody goes through. And at the end of the day, I would always sit back and say, but I really want to help people. And I really love this. And I know it's going to get better. And I just have to have belief. Like, I have to have belief and faith that this is all going to work out. And so I really did really operate on faith at the beginning. And and I was reading the Compound. Actually, I was reading the Slight Edge at that moment. And it was like the small, seemingly insignificant tasks repeated over time is what is going to bring you success. And so I would think to myself, all right, I'm posting every day. Eventually, I'm going to build that credibility. Eventually, and I wasn't just posting to check off the boxes. I was like, how can I get better? How can I get better at drawing people in? How can I create content that teaches people something? And so I was constantly trying to improve that skill as I was going along. And so what ended up happening for me is in month 2, when I announced that I was going to do a challenge group, and I actually did have people that committed. It took me all the way until the last week of month 2 before I hit Success Club 5. All right. And so for me, I was like the biggest victory because I felt like I had real customers at that point. And then I got to Emerald in my second month. And then in the 3rd month, I hit Success Club 10. And then I never looked back. All right. There were definitely months that had a harder time hitting Success Club than others. But I will tell you that because of the foundation that I laid in the first 3 months as a coach, because of my attitude, because I was positive, I was not willing to give up, because I believed, like I had this very deep-seated belief that I was going to figure this out some way, somehow I was going to be successful at this business. I figured it out. And that is any Beachbody coach, any business owner, any entrepreneur at any network marketing company is going to tell you the same thing. Starting a business is a leap of faith. But I promise you, if you have a vision and a dream, you'll make it happen. And you know what? You'll fail. You're going to start challenge groups that stink. You're going to start challenge groups that rock. And that you're kind of like, well, I'll just throw that idea away and you move on to the next. All right. So keep that in the back of your mind. So now here we are. It's the 30th. It's August 30th. And I know that not everybody in this group has reached the goals that they've set for themselves in the month of August. And so I know that number one, failure never determines future success. And so you just have to get out of your own head, and you certainly can't compare yourself to other people, but you also have to kind of draw a line in the sand, and you have to say to yourself, I've got 48 hours until, or what, 24 hours, a little bit more than 24 hours until, midnight East Coast time on Thursday, which is the last day of the month. I'm going to do everything I can to hit Success Club between now and then. I'm going to phone in a friend. I'm going to call in a favor. I'm going to buy Shakeology packets and sign my husband up as a coach with the 3-day refresh. And I'm going to do the 3-day refresh, and I'm going to post my results, and I'm going to sell those packets to people that want to try it, right? And you're going to make your money back, and you're going to get 2 Success Club points for it. And then maybe you say to yourself, all right, I'm calling up my mom and I'm saying, Mom, I need you to do me a favor. I know you've been wanting to try Shakeology, and I need you to buy it right now. Shakeology on Home Direct, that's 2 points. Even if she cancels it and keeps it, you still get to keep those 2 Success Club points, all right? So even if you get her to do it for a month, maybe you call one of your best friends and you be like, I need you to do this. Will you just do this group with me? Like, invest in it. If you don't like it, you can return it, but just give it a try. So think about, okay, who have I talked to in the month of August that was interested but hasn't committed yet? So some of the things that I do is I go back through, I take out my list of all the people that I've talked to, and I sit down and I send them a private message. And I say to them, all right, I'm getting ready to start my next challenge group. I know we talked in the month of August and you said the timing wasn't right, or that, you didn't, it wasn't, economical, or you didn't have the money for it. I just want to let you know that I'm starting my next challenge group. It's going to start, right after Labor Day on the 5th, or, maybe it's going to be the 11th for you, or the 10th. And so you let people know when your next challenge group is, and you say, all right, kids are back in school. It's time for us to get, put ourselves, back as the priority. Because if we want to be the best mom or best wife or best, spouse, we've got to pay attention to ourselves, and so 30 minutes a day, I'm going to give you the meal plans. I'm going to give you all the tips and the motivation. I think you should do this with me. Would you be interested? Would now be a better time? And just go back through and follow up with everybody that you had talked to before that gave you an objection. There is so much power in follow-ups. And so I've learned to do follow-ups without even thinking about it. So I don't prejudge. I don't think, oh, that person told me no. I will follow up with somebody until they say, take me off your list. All right. So every time I run a challenge group, I go back through the past 6 months of all the people that I invited that wanted more information, that never ever finally committed, and I resend them a message. All right. And I resend them a new message. Hey, just want to check in with you. And every month, so I'll get one or two people that are like, now's the time. Or I've been following you on social media. You look so good. You look so happy. I love what you're doing. I have to join you. But people are just waiting for you to ask. So if you haven't hit that goal yet, or even if you have and you're preparing for next month, use your follow-up list. Go down through that entire list and send a message to everybody on there. All right. The next thing that I've done in the past is when it's kind of come down to the wire and I haven't reached my goal yet, is I'll offer what I call a flash sale. And I don't like to do flash sales very often because I don't like to devalue the product and I don't like to not make a commission. But for me, it's very important that I reach that Success Club, and it's very important that I get those new customers every month. And so sometimes people just want to hear that they're getting a sale, right? They just want to know that they're getting a deal. I mean, how many of you will go to Kohl's because you have a 30% off coupon, even though you don't need a thing there, but you're like, I got 30%, I got to spend it, right? And so people will do that. They will totally do that. And so I will create an offer that I make up myself. And so I have done a $20 Amazon gift card. I have done $20 cash back. I have done a free packet of Energize samples before, but I figure out what the offer is going to be. Usually it's money off. I've even done ones where I'm like, I know that back to school is a busy time. I also know that it can be a little tight on the pocketbook because fall sports are happening and school clothes. And so, I know how much that you really wanted to invest in this and do this with me. And so I have 2 offers that I'm putting out there that I will give you my commission back if you purchase the challenge pack and join in my challenge group. And so basically I'm giving them my commission, and I'm writing them a personal check with a handwritten letter that says, thank you so much for joining my challenge group. I'm really excited to start this journey with you. You know, hopefully this will help you with your groceries or to buy the equipment you need to start the challenge group. Now, I want to make that money back, so you better believe I'm going to be the best dang coach I can be, and I'm going to really talk up Shakeology, and I'm going to hope that they get amazing results so they become a coach or they order Shakeology again next month. All right. So it's not like one and done. It's like, what can I do to keep that person going? And if as soon as people see the value in it, because I mean, all of you are like that too, right? I mean, think about how many times you probably him-hawed around about coaching or him-hawed around about becoming a challenger at the beginning. So you think about that same mentality that maybe you had. So what I do is I'll send that through a private message first, where I say, hey, I've got 2 offers left. You know, if you let me know by 9 o'clock tonight, then it's yours. Otherwise, I'm going to post it publicly, you know. And so I basically go to my warm market first, and then I would actually make an image and say, I've got a special offer. This is what I'm doing. And I'll put it out there to people. And I'll actually make I make it very personal. I'm not like, special offer, buy this, but I'm like, look, you know, if this has been on your heart, you know, or maybe you say something like, it's been on my heart, you know, that there are so many people out there that want to make a change, but finances tend to be tight, and especially during this time of year. If you are somebody that is ready to commit and really wants to make a change, I am going to gift, you know, 2 challenge packs, or I'm going to gift my commission to 2 people that sign up to join my challenge group starting on September 5th. And I talk about it, why I'm doing it, why I see the benefit of it, how I want to invest in them. I can do a catchy image, and, you know, I've even done like where I have a check and I like hold it up, or I'll just do something creative so that it like catches the scroll and gets people to stop. Again, I do not do this very often. I only do it when I get down to the end of the month and I'm like, I need to get these points because I don't want to miss Success Starters or Success Club or the trip or whatever they're offering for that month. Because I'm also a recognition-driven person, and I don't ever want to not be on a board or on a shout-out board, or I don't want to miss going on a trip. But also it helps you with your income too, because you are generating income. So those are some of the things that I have done in the past that have worked for me. I maybe did those for the first 6 months. But then I got really good at inviting and following up. I started growing my network, and I probably haven't done that in 4 years, 5 years since that's the last time I actually ran. I try to like get ahead of it as you get into the business a little bit more. All right. So if you don't have a challenge group that you're going to be starting next, and you need to set a start date. Maybe you go into the team page and you team up with some other ladies or men that are in there that you could co-run a challenge group together if you don't feel ready to do it on your own. I also just uploaded all the updated scripts into my Facebook page, the team page. So you have all those scripts in there, and you don't even have to worry about not knowing what to do once you start a challenge group, because you've all been a part of one already. So you know what to do. Right? So you just got to take that leap of faith and you got to put it out there. All right. So those are some of the things you can do to help you kind of get there. And then what's kind of the next step in the process? So the next step in the process is, we're ending month 1. And if you've hit Success Club, you've achieved that goal, you get your month of Success Starters. If you've gotten to Emerald, that is awesome. I'm so excited for you. If you didn't get to Emerald yet, then your next goal is going to be running another challenge group in the month of September, getting to Success Club 5 or 10, and now adding 2 coaches to your team. So that is like moving into phase 2. So what I want you to begin to do is think to yourself, okay, out of the current people that I'm talking to, out of the current people that maybe are already in your challenge groups, if you've been doing the business for a few months, I want you to start identifying the people in your challenge groups that you think would make great coaches. People that are very much engaged and participating daily. People that are just naturally answering others' questions. People that may even be posting about their journey and what they're eating on Facebook already. Or maybe do you even have friends that you're like, man, that person would make a really great coach. I want you to get up the nerve, and I want you to do the Mel Robbins 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. send them a message. All right. I want you to think about it. I want you to say, hey, Gwen, I think you would make an amazing coach. I don't know if you've ever heard of Beachbody before, but you always post such positive and inspiring things on your Facebook. I see that you love to work out. I don't know if you've heard of it, but I'd love to share it with you if you'd be interested. Done. You're done. Just send the message and set a goal for yourself to send a couple of those every single day. Maybe even to your challengers. Hey, Alyssa, you are doing an amazing job in our challenge group. You are positive. You're motivating the rest of the group. You just really stand out as somebody that would make an amazing coach. Have you ever thought about becoming a coach before? That is how my coach invited me. My coach invited me because I was in her challenge group and she thought I would make a great coach. I told her no 5 times. 5 times. She was like, she sent me the business opportunity call through a private message. I watched the whole call. I never responded back. She invited me a second time. I ignored her. She said, hey, you want to go meet for coffee one day? I met her for coffee, talked about signing up as a coach. I went home and I was like, ooh, I really want to do this. I really want to coach. I told my husband and he was like, no, you are not doing this coaching thing. That is a pyramid scheme. That is a ripoff. You are not doing that. And I was like, okay. And I kept thinking about it. She invited me again and again. And finally, I got up the nerve to save my own money and sign up to become a coach. And now look. So there is power in being persistent, especially with somebody that you're like, I know they could do this. I know that they could make a great coach. So, you just never know when the timing is going to be right and that person is going to be ready to make that commitment. So you want to definitely ask. So next month, we're obviously going to run another challenge group. I don't know if you've noticed, I have a structure to it. So I always start my next Coach University. So if you want to repeat this Coach University and you want to do it again, you can. The next one will start on the 4th, which is Monday. And then our next challenge group that I'm going to be running is the Back to School. It's called Back to School, Back to You. And it will actually start on, looking at my calendar, it will start preseason on September 18th. So I've already started to think about the images for that. I'm starting to think about when I want to launch that. I'll probably start advertising for that next weekend, not this upcoming weekend, but next weekend. Next week is the week of hard labor with Sagi, which is Body Beast and Hammer and Chisel. There's a 5-day free meal plan, 5 workouts with Sagi. Then I am doing a 3-day refresh. That's my free group for next week. And so I've already started to advertise for that. You may have seen me talk a little bit about that. You could easily throw together a group but I would wait. If you haven't hit Success Club yet, don't talk about it. Do get that out of the way first. Once you hit Success Club, or if you have already, then I would say, use some of the resources that I've been sharing about hard labor. I created a Facebook event. I've been posting in that event daily. I've been sharing that event on my Facebook page. I've been inviting my challengers from last month and previous months to join. And I've got a nice little pod of people that are going to do that free group with me. And then they will be kind of my funnel of people that haven't purchased yet to go into the next actual challenge group. So that'll be kind of the month of month of September for me. So you guys can either repeat the Coach University or you can move on. We have what's called the 4 Vital Behaviors. It's phase 2. And again, it's really where we talk a lot more about challenge groups and follow-ups and having those conversations and then getting to Emerald. So that's kind of your month 2 game plan. All right. So, with that being said, what would you say are your biggest roadblocks and hurdles right now in getting your customers or getting interaction? Where do you feel like you have the biggest roadblocks? If anybody wants to ask a question or give some feedback, I would be happy to answer some questions for you guys. You just have to unmute yourselves.
I think would be, I feel like I'm doing a good job of inviting. So probably I need to do a better job of following up. But this is my month and a half of coaching. I hit Success Club last month, but I am at 0. And I feel like I've invited more people and I'm on a team cup and I feel like I'm letting them down. So, but I wrote down your advice on the flash sale and then just going through and talking to everyone.
Okay. And there are some months where August is kind of wonky like this. It is a weird month. It's back to school and that tends to be what it is. So, here's the biggest thing. Take a look at your conversations and say to yourself, okay, am I actually am I looking at their Facebook or am I looking at their Instagram before I'm sending a message? So whenever I go to invite somebody that I don't know, that I'm just kind of an acquaintance, I always go to their Facebook or I look at their Instagram and I scroll through and I kind of like refresh myself. Okay, what have they been up to? And I make a compliment or I ask a question. Hey, I just saw that, your son went off to school today and he has awesome shoes on and I'm looking for shoes for my son. Like, where did you get those at? And then I start the conversation and I try to keep it going. What have you been up to? How was the first day of school? And then I'd be like, hey, totally random, but, I've enjoyed this conversation. Would you be interested in joining like one of my accountability groups? I'd love to get to know you and spend some time with you, So something like that. Or, I will go and look at people's pages and find something to talk about. Sometimes it's just as simple of, and when somebody says yes, like tell me a little bit more about it, then that's where you have to make sure, like conversations can go, you can have like word vomit and say too much. And so go back through and say, out of all the invites I've sent, could I have changed anything? Could I have shortened it? And just look at it. And there's sometimes you're going to say, no, I couldn't have done it any differently. And then I just follow up. I'm like, hey, Sally, just wanted to follow up to see if you were still interested in joining my group. I know it's been busy with the kids back to school, but either way, just let me know. Let me know either way. So that's another one. If you word vomit all over somebody and you give them a ton of information and they didn't respond back, I'll usually like go and say like, Erica, I am so sorry. I just read through the message that I sent you and I was so excited about the challenge group and I totally word vomited all over you and I probably totally scared you away. I'm so sorry, but I would be happy to explain it, like break it down for you if you are still interested. So just call yourself out. I'm so sorry. I was so excited. I just word vomited all over you, So you're totally allowed to call yourself out in that way. So follow up with everybody. Go back and kind of right some of those wrongs if you can. But the other part of it is I really want to make some compelling posts. So when I say compelling, it is like, why people are telling you no. If it's price or if it's fear or if it is, I don't have time. And so I take those objections and then I make a post about them. And I make a really bold post. And sometimes I even look to see if that person's online when I go to post it because I want them to see it. And so it might be like cost, price. And so I may take like Shakeology and I may say, do you think Shakeology is too expensive? Like you want to try it, but the price is it's just like, no. And so maybe you talk about how you thought it was too expensive too, but you think about $4 a day and maybe you just break it out in a Facebook post, or maybe you talk about the fear of failure. Like, are you afraid to commit to a challenge group because you're afraid it'll be another program that sits on the shelf and collects dust and another supplement that you've bought that you've never completed? And so I promise you that this is different and here is why. And you talk about how Beachbody is different. And then you have a good picture and a good call to action where you're like, I can help you. I am going to hold your hand every step of the way. I am committed to helping you succeed. And sometimes that is just like you hit people at the right time where they're like, I need this. I just need it. I can't go on without it. So even going into the weekend, Saturday mornings is a good one. We're going into a holiday weekend. We've got Labor Day. So, Sunday nights, even Monday nights, even though I know it'll already be September, but Monday nights, like don't go to bed without making a call to action post about your next challenge group, because people are going to be like, oh my God, I totally enjoyed Labor Day. We went camping, we had beer, we sat by the pool, we drank margaritas, I had cookie cake, and they're sitting there like, oh my gosh, I feel disgusting and I need to do something. That's where you come in and you say those things. Did you eat beer, drink beer? Did you have cookie cake? Did you have a good time over the weekend? Are you disgusted that another weekend went by and you just feel blah? Like now's the time to commit. Now's the time to get back on track. So you want to kind of catch people at that emotional moment. And then if you can, then you'll get them to make that commitment at that time. Even Tuesday morning when everybody's kind of back in the routine, do another post about your next challenge group too. So anytime you kind of feel that like, ooh, I got a good idea for a post, you should do it, because that's going on emotion. It's going to come out better. It's going to sound better. And get in the habit of typing it and hitting send before you even think twice about it. Just like if it feels good and it gives you the warm fuzzies, go with it, and because a lot of times we get into this habit of over analyzing and then we talk ourselves out of actually making the Facebook post. So try to operate on that sense too. All right. What other questions? Flag me down if you need me to
Hey,
unmute
Melanie,
you.
can you hear me? It's Mary.
I can. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm on the road, so it's a little broken up. I just wanted to ask you about challenge group dates. So I just started my challenge group this week on the 28th. So should I start advertising for another one now? I'm also doing the free week for a week of hard labor.
Okay.
So should I wait and do another challenge group like later in September?
Yes. So did you reach Success Club already?
I did, yeah.
Okay. So then you're good. I would do the clean week or the hard labor week next week, and then maybe on the 18th is when I would do your next challenge group of September. So give yourself like a week in between the week of hard labor, a week to get everybody to buy their challenge packs. And once that hard labor week starts, then you can start talking about your next challenge group. So you don't have to wait for that to end before you can start advertising. You can start talking about it and inviting to the next group in September.
Okay. And then the challenge put out with the team for the 3 challenge packs Tuesday, the 5 total for till tomorrow. Those challenge packs that I sell, they would go into my next challenge group, right? Like if I sell 3 more, I put them into the September 18th. Okay.
Right. Yep. Yeah. But if you've already hit Success Club, I don't know that I would offer that sale.
Okay.
I mean, just because you don't need to, because you've already hit Success Club, right. I wouldn't. I would focus on getting as many people into that week of hard labor and then kick that off next week and then immediately turn around and start talking about your next challenge group.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? No?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Quick question. So when do you think, like I hit Success Club this month, but I'm a little bit unsure, like, do I do the Coach University again, or do I just start my new challenge group? I'm kind of uneasy about, like, I don't know what to do.
Okay. What's kind of your reservation? Like where?
My fear, I think, is just, just because, watching you, it's like everything's in order, everything makes sense. I connect to it, and I'm like, can I do that too? I mean, I think I can, but I still have that little reservation. I don't know.
Yeah. So you can do it. I mean, you can totally do it. You know what to do. And maybe like you and Julia, like Julia's like, I feel the same way. Like maybe the two of you team up together and do it first, and you have like you have a wingman. But I think it's better at the beginning. It's okay to do it with me, but I think that the sooner you step out and build that confidence, the more you're just gonna fly with it, because it's yours and you're owning it, and it's just then your heart and soul really comes into it. Right now you're playing it safe, you're learning, but you know what to do. So even if you redo the Coach University next month, which I don't think you probably need to do because you've already done it and you've hit Success Club, I would go into the 4 Vital Behaviors group. But I think go into that group and run your own challenge group. And maybe what you do is you set it for the same start date that I would do. And then if you don't get enough people to join, then you can add your 1 or 2 people into mine. All right. But if you get 5 people or 10 people, then you run your own challenge group.
Okay.
You just kind of, and then maybe just title it the same thing that I title mine. And then it's like you've given yourself a backup plan. So you haven't quite pulled the rug out from underneath of yourself yet. So you're kind of like inching yourself closer to independence.
Okay. I think I'll try it. I do think. I mean, I feel like I want to. It's just that little bit of fear. Like I need that little push. So
totally.
Would we need to like redo the videos? Like I guess record them ahead of time, like if we're gonna do our own group.
Oh, that's a good question. So a lot of times coaches don't. A lot of people are like, I just use your videos because they're perfect. You know, I don't need to redo them. Or some people slowly redo them over time. So they'll, and this is what I did as a new coach. So I would watch somebody's video and then I would stop it and then I would take notes and then I would basically re-say the video again in my own words, and that was how I made my first, like if you went back to 2011 you would see that's what I did. I was like reading off of a piece of paper. Yeah, you just did that. Yeah, so you can say like, all right, I'm gonna do one a week and I'm gonna start transitioning the challenge group posts into my own. And on Google Documents you just would go to my script and then make a copy, go to file, make a copy, and then now it becomes your script, and now you can delete out my stuff, you can add your own words, you can add your own links in there, and so now you can slowly but surely start to make your own. Setting up a YouTube channel is really easy to do. So all you do is go to youtube.com. You just create an account like you would create a Google account or a Facebook account. And then you'll have like a screen name basically. And then I have the YouTube app on my phone. And so I'll record a video and just upload it right from my phone, or I will use iMovie on my phone and record a video. Like I think I've showed you, I have like this little tripod. It's like a selfie stick with a tripod on the end. This is how I make almost all my videos. And then I just upload it right from my phone. And as long as you don't make it private, but just make it unlisted. And what unlisted is like in the settings when you upload it, all it means is that the whole internet can't find it. Only the people you share the link with can find it. So all of our challenge group videos that I use are unlisted. All of these call recordings that I do are unlisted. You have the link so you can listen to it, but the whole internet cannot find my Coach University calls, all right? Because they're unlisted. If you make it public, everybody can see it. So you can start practicing on your challengers, or if you use Facebook for your challenge groups, just go live. Just go live right in the group and just make them a video. And so they're going to love it because they signed up with you, and it's going to be amazing. It doesn't matter if it sounds like me. They're going to love it because they trust and have that trust in you. So that's my suggestion. I know, I'm really kicking you out of the nest, aren't I? But it's a good thing. You are going to thank me for it in the long run, I promise. What else?
I had another question, but I guess about posting like the videos for the hardcore week of hardcore or week of hard labor. Where do we see, like, I saw your thing and it had like look at the video, but all I could find was a link to a YouTube video, and then it had all like negative why I quit Beachbody, all those like next videos, you know, so I didn't want to post that.
Yeah.
Is that on the team online office?
So is it the what is the week of hard labor? Is that what you're looking for?
Where he's talking and he's like, oh, it's all big and, you know, crazy and, you know, it's really hard. And
let me see. Is it in, it could be in the Coach Online office. So let me go English and just see if it's in there. There's one on Clean Week, Shift Shop, Double Time. What I would do, looking to see if there's one on the FAQs, because sometimes in the FAQs it is hard labor. That's usually where I look. A week of hard labor, workout description. I don't see it. Where did you see it at? Was it on YouTube is where you found it? I don't see it there. I'll have to go look into it and see what I can find. I'll get back to you. I'll look, but I'll keep you posted.
I thought I saw it in your like committed to getting fit page.
Yeah, so what?
Look for it. It's not a big deal.
It might be the challenge group guide. Is that what I put in there? Oh, here's the, I bet it is. It's probably the challenge group guide where it says download the images, getting started, challenge group best practices. I bet that's where it's at. But I don't, yeah, let me know. Go look for it and find it, and then I'll do my research and I'll help you find one that is a better, that doesn't have all that crap. We'll find a way to do that. And we'll work on that. And then I made my own video about what is the week of hard labor. So I actually made a video that I posted in my little event. So I created a Facebook event for it. And I'll share it with you. Hang on. So I have this one here. It says a week of hard labor. And I have like, the discussion. And so you can see, like, I went live and I said, what is a week of hard labor? And this is where I explained it. And I said, let's talk. Well, I was going to encourage them to do the 3-day refresh. So I did like a little thing that says, let's talk about the 3-day refresh. And then I did this one that says, I actually like wrote a blog post about it. So whenever it kind of takes them back to my blog and it says, what is hard labor? Oh, this might be the one that you're talking about. Get this one right here, maybe. What equipment do I need? And you can check this out. And then I did like a how do I sign up? So what I'm doing is I'm posting in there to try to get them interested in the program and the product. So that's something that I did too that was very helpful. All right. Anything else? No? All right, so if you have any follow-up questions or thoughts, things that you want to do, like now you need to go back to, like if I'm not your upline, you go back to your personally sponsored coach and say like, okay, what should my next steps be? Or I want to repeat the Coach University, or I want to move on to phase 2. You know, so it's kind of your next step is to decide where you want to go from here, what your comfort level is. And the other thing too is if you are struggling in any way, one of the best things that you can do is set up a call with your sponsor coach, you know, even just 15 minutes to kind of say, this is what I'm struggling with. Tell me what to do. And a lot of times, like just talking it out and 15 to 20 minutes of strategy and just, it helps. It makes a world of difference. So don't be afraid to reach out. You don't have to be successful to have a call with somebody. You can have a call with, if you're struggling, like that's what we want you to do. We want you to reach out. And the second thing that is really, really important is that you don't just kind of fade into the darkness and say, I'm not going to do a challenge group next month, or I'm not going to plug into a support system, because you'll just fizzle out anyways. And then that's when we see coaches kind of stop. And then find an accountability partner. So accountability partners it's another coach either on our team or in our organization or our team page, or somebody that you've watched in this Vemify training and you're like, I really relate to you and I really like your style. I'd like to team up. Would you like to, private message each other or co-run challenge groups together or have a weekly Zoom call? You guys have Zoom on your phones and on your computers. You have a meeting room and you can just share that link and you get 45 minutes to talk to one another, and it's free. So you might as well use this with other people. So I would encourage you to find somebody that can be an accountability partner where you're not dragging the other person along, but you're like, okay, did you do your invites today? How many people did you invite? Or, oh my gosh, I got to invite more. Or hold me accountable. I'm going to do 10 a day. And so you just hold each other accountable. You make sure that you're doing the right activities to help you build your business. The last thing is Super Saturday is coming up in September. So get yourself to a Super Saturday event in your area. It doesn't have to be hosted by a Dream Team coach. It can be anybody. Those are not team-specific events. They're run by other coaches in the organization. But you go into local events, you can meet people. You can feel the vibe. You can hear what new products and programs are being launched. You can do a live workout with other Beachbody coaches. Like, I can't stress just how valuable that is to building your business. And especially for me, when I didn't know anybody at the beginning, it was great to connect with others. So those are just some of my things to kind of wrap up and kind of close things out. If you've got any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask. I am always here to help. I will post this recording in the group so that anybody that didn't get a chance to listen live can catch it. And I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful night, and thanks for just being so awesome. And go get that Success Club points if you don't have them yet. I believe in you. I know you can do it. I did it on New Year's Eve at 10:30 at night. I got my Success Club points, so I know it can be done. And I had to bribe somebody to do it. So I believe in you. It can happen. All right. So go have a good night, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, everybody.